Greetings and welcome back to Switch to Linux. Today we are asking this fun question. How fast of an internet connection do we need? And we have our supporters on. How's it going there, Dan?
Hello.
And I think that Vince will be
Fine.
on very shortly. He's still setting up. And I just ran downstairs, ran back up, because I got my amazing Comcast bill today, and they have their new advertised prices. That's right, my internet price is going up again. My internet price has now gone up over $50 in the last 6 months. Just an FYI.
Dang. That's robbery.
Yes, it is. It is definitely robbery, and somebody should probably go to jail, but nobody probably will because, Asia Chichapie is still in charge of the FCC, and according to him, hey, there's no problems anywhere. Hey, everything's going just fine. It's all perfectly peachy keen. Oh, you're getting charged for a modem you don't even have? Ha ha, that's okay, ha ha.
Our government
Shocking.
is doing absolutely nothing. They're
Yeah.
just parked there.
Well, half of it's, maybe 10% of it's trying to do something. 40% of it's just going, and the other one's going like, impeach Orange Man bad! Ah!
Yeah. Yeah, you got that about right. I mean, they can go after these data stealing companies and do something about that, or they can, just like I was telling you, that all our cars are spying on us. As a matter of fact, that article I sent you said that there's 11 million LTE connections for the cars that are now on that.
Yeah. Oh, Solby on Hex Chat scared me. Your theme started playing right when Mike Winger, a preacher I listened to, was about to read from Revelation. All right, man. We are on Hex Chat if you want to join over there. We are on the Freenode channel at Switched to Linux if you want to jump on over there, and I will be hopefully remembering to look over there. All right. But yeah, so we're going to talk about how fast of internet do you need. We got a couple of people on. Hi, Vince. How's it going? Didn't say hi yet.
Hi, Vince.
Hey, guys.
How fast of internet do you have, Vince?
Not very fast at all. I'm on DSL still.
Me too.
Wow.
And
We're holding out.
Maybe I should get DSL. I don't know. Save house.
We're holding out. We still believe in those old copper wires.
Yeah.
They're only recently now offering us 100 megabits.
Nice.
On DSL?
No. On cable.
How much is that?
About 70 Australian a month.
70 Australian a month. You know what's funny? They did not. I don't think they did. Oh, they did send me an envelope. I was like, I don't think they sent me an envelope to send this check in. That's 70, yeah. So I'm paying, I have, I think I don't know. It might be 200 down. I forget. 150, 200 down, somewhere around there. I don't care. It's like 10 times more than I actually need down. And it has, I think it's 10 up, and I'm paying $100. Now I'm paying $94.95 this month. Now, at the beginning of the year, I was only paying like $60. So now I'm paying that, and my rate's going to go up again to $97.95. So if you want to help support Switch to Linux, jump on over to thinklifemedia.com, patreon.com, and actually I think over the Christmas holiday I'm going to enable the channel subscriptions on YouTube as well. So you can actually subscribe to the channel there with the join button on YouTube if you are interested in doing that. I'm pretty sure that YouTube steals more money of mine than anybody else's do. But anyway, so I actually have the price lists here. So who is it? That's Derek Graham said he wanted gigabit internet and he's paying $105 a month. And indeed, you are, by the way, Derek, next month going to be paying $107.95 because I do have the new price list for Comcast right here. So your performance internet only is going from 74 to 77. Now, I think I've tried that one, and the problem is they cap the upload at 5. So I could do that, save about $25 a month, but I would not be able to stream HD. I could still stream 720p, but I could not stream HD. Let me know if that'd be okay with you guys. Or should I just keep paying the higher amount? Being said, I am going to drop my cell phone bill by $45 a month next month. Performance Pro is 89. It was 89. Now it's going to be 92. Blast is the one that I have, was 94.95. It's going to be 97.95. Extreme Pro is 99.95. It will be 102.95. And Gigabit was 104.95. It's going to be 107.95. Of course, they're jacking up the modem rentals from 13 up to 14. Oh, wow. They actually raised that almost $4 since they kept on trying to charge me a modem rental fee 7 times in a single calendar year a few months ago, if you guys didn't catch that one. And there's Gigabit Pro Speed Upgrade for $238 is going up to $235. And they did give me this wonderful, let's see, where's it at? I just thought it was so glorious how they worded this crap. I feel like I should be streaming an episode of No BS. We love keeping you connected to what matters most. We're proud to deliver exciting experiences you won't find anywhere else. We wanted to let you know about some improvements we've made to your services. What improvements? All you're doing is causing my price to go up. And also to tell you the cost of our services will be increasing. Nobody likes price increases, including us. No BS right about there. But they happen periodically due to rising business costs. Here's a solution for you, Comcast. Why don't you give me the option to have a symmetric upload-download speed at about 20 Mbps? Charge me $50 for it, and I'll be very happy with that. Because I don't need 200 down. I actually need, like, 20 down is good for me. I just need that 10 up to live stream for you guys in 1080p.
Now, can you run that? Can you write that off as a business expense?
Yeah, it's 100% business expense.
Make Uncle Sam pay it.
But the fact of the matter is, I mean, just because you have a business expense doesn't mean it's free. It just means I'm not going to pay taxes
deal with
on
it.
that. Yeah. So
at least here they do give decent upload speeds. So if I go on a 100 plan, sorry, that's about $90 Australian. If on a 100 plan you get a 40 megabit upload, and on a 50 megabit plan you get 20 megabit upload. So that's pretty decent. And that's the $70 one.
yeah. And that'd be good, but so I guess our question is, how fast of internet do we need in light of the articles we are going to be doing? Anyway, Michelangelo's on. I love your work, Michelangelo. Woohoo! ISP outage got taken care of just in time. Yeah, all right. Didn't get a chance to call it in. Cox is a pain to deal with on the front anyway, yeah. Good luck. Good luck. Let's see. So yeah, Derek, your price is going to go up a little bit. Null Zero, meow to you as well. The kitty is sitting on the steps. When he lays on the steps, I call him Claymore, because he's just a bomb waiting to be stepped on. Let's see. Yeah, no, kitty. Yeah, he's on the steps because it's. Like if he's here, I'll plug in the third camera. But I have 2 cameras on the system right now, so. Approximately 35, 45 Mbps maximum for 4K YouTube video is fine. There you go. Mind you, if I get 4G my internet and it's fine now. Yeah. The answer to the question: the files needed to download as fast as I can snap my fingers. That's right. It needs to be fast enough to outrun the police. What are you outrunning the police for? Leo only pays €20 a month. I bet that's probably better internet than I have, too. 90% less bandwidth required without the tracking, yeah. It's only as fast as the slowest link. Yes, this is true. But we'll see here what this really has to do with by the end here. History teacher delivered a giant packet to my brother to give me with all the history homework and classwork missed for being sick. 16 pages of practice work and a performance test. Ooh, yeah, Pizza is still sick, guys, and now he's going to get nauseous with all that homework. So pray for Pizza. Pray for Pizza. And hey, the word pray for pizza could mean multiple things. We can pray to have pizza coming to you, or you can pray for Pizza Loving Nerd, Anyway. Unlimited 4G SIM card via router is £22 a month. Yeah. Just upgrade to Linux Mint 19.3 on 3 computers. Very good. Very good. Once those low orbit satellites go live, we'll see prices fall. No, we won't. We'll see prices go up higher because it's new tech. 1,000 megabit per second fiber and pay 66 USD a month. Look at these. We sell the house and buy another house with another internet provider and get 10,000 megabit per second for $50 a month. Yeah. Where are you at, Bill? Maybe I should move overseas. I don't know.
That ends up being a very expensive internet connection.
Well, $50. Yeah.
No, I mean if you have to buy a house.
Oh yeah. If you do have to buy a house for it, yes. Fiber optic cost is $5 a month. Why so much USA? Because we have no good money hungry corporatocracists who have taken control of the government. That's why. Do we have a year contract? Nope. See here, okay, let me tell you while we're doing this here, the other thing that they're trying to do now is they're trying to get people to switch who are on the internet only plan. We talked about this on the news. They're trying to get people on the internet only plan to switch over to their internet with Xfinity TV. So have a look at this. So the performance internet, which is Xfinity internet service only, is $74.95 a month. But if I add Xfinity TV, the price drops to $61.95. So it causes you go well, why don't you just do that? Because what they're not advertising here, which might come back and bite them, well, if it probably would if Asia Chutrip Highhole wasn't in the FCC, is that you have to pay the $61.95 plus the broadcast TV fee, which is the one they keep on jacking around and is not listed anywhere on this. So if I call them up and say, give them the TV one too, but then the TV one, you need to rent your internet box. So, and this in and of itself should be enough sign for the government to say, so you can provide this service with voice and TV for $61.95, but you can't provide it without voice or TV without charging an extra $15 more. That should be called price gouging. That in and of itself should be illegal. Because if I take away services, it should get cheaper, not more expensive. So, yay for Comcast, the perpetual scammers that have a total monopoly on my internet. How are you guys doing?
Well, dandy compared to that.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't there laws against false advertising your prices?
There used to be.
Yeah. I mean, in theory, yes, but they'll get a little, don't do that again, if they get caught. And then it goes through the courts for 5 years, and then the courts come down. I mean, the fine is less than the interest you incurred by putting $5 billion into mutual funds for the next 5 years while the court case goes. And then you get to pay the little fine, and then anything extra is profit.
Yeah, here's the thing. They fine the companies for doing stuff like that. The companies turn around and write it off on their taxes as a business expense, so they get out the back door free.
Yeah, so any fine that you have, first and foremost, every fine the fine itself should be 5 times the profit that they make, and it should not be a deductible against taxes. So you have to pay the taxes on the fine as well.
Oh, and how about fining the decision maker personally as well?
Yeah, If we actually saw some of these corporatocracists and CEOs in charge of these companies actually see jail time, we would clean up Wall Street in a heartbeat, and the corporate America in a heartbeat. But yeah, right. Good luck with that. Oh boy. Well, shall we get into our articles? Because we have some fun, fascinating articles as we're talking about this. All right. So first article here is from Ars Technica, and this is hilarious to me that okay. This is like this big fluff piece. 5G is coming. It's going to revolutionize everything. It's ready to supercharge the Internet of Things. This is so totally awesome. Is this not the same news organization that is telling us every single day about the hacks and the data breaches and the problems with IoT? All right, initial impressions, guys. 5G is going to supercharge Internet of Things. What's your impressions?
I'm not even excited about it. I think it's just another problem that's going to make things, worse. I think the 5G, they're going to move this up to a wavelength that's dangerous to biological material, human flesh, plants, and animals, and they start condensing it down into tightly used spots and stuff like that. It's going to cause. They may not see it in the short term, but there's probably going to be long-term effects from using this kind of technology.
Mm-hmm.
Because it works on the same wavelength as microwave ovens do.
Mm-hmm.
Microwave ovens work or start best at 2 gigahertz. They're going up to 2.4. You know, this stuff is radiation. It's not radio waves.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I would want to look into it, and I probably should. I mean, it's not like I have a background in toxicology. I'm pretty sure I could parse out the data as to it. My understanding presently is it's the power intensity is low enough to not cause any real issues, but I don't know that for sure. So that would be fascinating to see some of the studies on that. But
well, nobody knows. They haven't had it out and used it long enough to have a good study to go by. But you can extrapolate if you're exposed to this stuff for any long period of time. It can't be good.
Yeah,
I feel that everyone's brushing over the difficulties with the 5G range. I mean, from what I've been hearing, what I've been seeing, it seems that 5G has a very, very short range. Mm-hmm. It's closer to your Wi-Fi range, right? That you get in your home, mm-hmm. and you know how bad that can be. Yeah. And so how they manage to solve that, they're going to probably have these towers like on every street corner.
Yeah. So
unless there's some other way of solving it.
Yeah, so there's a few spectrums you can use for 5G. There is a 5G, like T-Mobile is using the 5G that's approximately the spectrum of LTE. And so, which means it has a much higher range but lower data speeds. The short range that Verizon is pushing out is completely unsustainable. Like they're going to go bankrupt if they try and push this out, because even as they're pushing out 5G, like Verizon has pushed out 5G to 10 American cities. And really in 10 American cities, you only get it if you're within a certain range right outside. And if you literally hold, like if you're standing, like if your head is between the phone and the transmitter, it actually blocks the signal. And then the challenge we have there is, how do you sustain this? Well, you have to put a repeater. It basically boils down to like every third telephone pole or something like that. It's so problematic.
It'll be Holdgate all over again. Like you're holding your phone wrong.
Yeah.
That's what they were telling you.
You're spinning your head wrong is what it's going to be.
You're standing in the wrong place.
Yeah, correct. And so it's not really sustainable. But when you can deploy it, is it good? And that's kind of what this article is getting at. So let's say we're going to create a smart factory, as one of the things they mention in this individual book. We're going to create a smart factory. And as the smart factory's going, you can put it inside your factory in enough ways that you can actually get sustainable work onto each of your individual devices that needs it. So that's kind of what they're talking about. So here's the biggest problem is all of these IoT devices. The biggest danger with 5G is IoT, because IoT is so radically insecure and horrible. It should not even be considered for deployment.
Well, that's for the current generation devices. I think if they can solve the security issues, it might be okay.
How are you going to solve the security issues, though? Because as soon as something becomes even potentially popular with 5% of the market, knockoff companies mass produce it, and then before you know it, you're going to get knockoff everything. You can't fix the problem.
True. I mean, part of security is the surface that you have of attack, and so the more devices you have, the higher the surface of attack.
Correct.
That's right.
Yeah. And then, of course,
the higher the speed, the faster the attack.
Correct. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, suppose somebody does get in here. The only thing that stops hackers from getting in here and totally stealing everything from a company right now is the speed limitation. So you drop the speed limitation, and the company, the hacker could get in there. Well, it's going to take them, several hours to download a 10 gigabyte database. 5G, hey, they got your whole gigabit database as soon as they accidentally got in there the first time. They get in, boom, they got everything done.
Yes.
So that's interesting.
If I got in, I'd probably make all those robotic arms fight each other. That would be
Yeah,
cool.
there you go. They'll all grab the controller and hold them hostage. That's right. So they're kind of talking here 5G IoT and how amazing it's going to be. Either I upgrade to fiber and connect the machines, or I use millimeter wave 5G in the factory. He says everything we hear on reliability and management of the infrastructure indicates 5G is superior. I don't know who he's hearing what from who, because this is a completely untested field. Oh boy. So millimeter wave 5G runs on bands of frequencies starting at 24 gigahertz, far above the frequencies applied for LTE. The enormous amounts of free spectrum up there allow for gigabit speeds at the cost of range, which would be limited to 1,000 feet or so. So 1,000 feet. So 1,000 feet, I think that's 4 telephone poles. I think it's 1,000 feet, if I remember off the top. So about 1,000 feet is what you have. That still, they say, exceeds Wi-Fi's reach. But there's a challenge, though. It doesn't exceed Wi-Fi's reach because Wi-Fi has penetrability to go in between the walls. So here I have 2 Wi-Fi networks here. One of them is actually I'm pointing to it here. It's through this wall. The other one is actually downstairs, down that way. And the Wi-Fi there can penetrate it. If those were 5G transceivers, they would not reach in here at all. It's blocked by the walls. So you have to have wide open spaces for it to work, which does not exceed Wi-Fi. Let's see. Low band 5G on the same frequencies today used for 4G does not allow for massive speed boost, but should cover far more ground. That's what T-Mobile is doing. Somebody in the comments posted that. Randy S. T-Mobile solved the range problem, but it's not much faster. It's a little faster than 4G LTE, but not a lot. But it does penetrate through the walls. It has better, stronger signal. So T-Mobile right now is kind of winning the 5G race. Not as high in the speed, but they're winning it as far as getting it deployed to people who can use it.
And everybody's going to have to buy new cell phone devices to actually take advantage of it to get the extra radio receiver in their phone.
Correct.
Yep.
So who's willing to pay $500 to $1,000 for a new cell phone for that?
Your old phone ain't going to work on any of this new stuff.
Yeah. I mean, they'll still have the ability to have a 4G LTE going up eventually. Verizon, of course, as of December, as of December 2020. So 1 year from now, Verizon will be cutting off all 3G functionality. Other carriers are not. Mm-hmm.
On that, I did hear that as people move to 5G, us lowly 4G LTE users will get a boost in bandwidth because there will be less people using the 4G spectrum.
Good.
Which would be good for us. Mm-hmm.
Let them have it.
Because all the power users will go to 5G.
Well, that'll depend if 5G is available in certain spots or not, because the phone will automatically switch off of the 5G and back to the LTE if it cannot function properly.
Yeah.
And vice versa.
All right. So another business opportunity that people will have in terms of all this is going to be slicing up networks. I say business opportunity because they worked really hard to get rid of that, why am I drawing a blank now? You know what I'm talking about. Net neutrality, right? So they can take the 5G and they can split it into different things for preemptive multitasking. So that's what the next section is talking about here. So this basically says, okay, you can have a priority bandwidth for first responders that, is never clogged up with data, never going to get full because they can splice up that network for it. And then you can have things for gaming. But this also means, guess what, guys? No more net neutrality. So what's going to happen now is it's a new business opportunity. Would you like to have the high-speed 5G or the crappy dial-up 5G? But it's 5G. And that's what we're going to start to see, I bet, as the new technology emerges. So would you guys like to pay twice as much for 5G that's a little bit slower than your 4G? Anybody?
No, I've paid the early adopter tax before for various things, and I'm not that keen anymore. Maybe because I'm getting old.
Yeah, it's like, no, it's like the Librem 5 phone tax. Sure, I'll give you a couple $1,000 for a phone that doesn't work right now. Sounds good to me. I'll wait till everything works and it's on second or third generation, and I'll buy a used one then. How's that? So they're talking about network slicing. Of course, one of the things that they're trying to do, I didn't see it mentioned in the article here, I might have missed it, but one of the things they want to do with network slicing, one of the reasons they want to push this 5G on everybody, it's the greatest thing in the world, is the cars. Like, Dan, you were telling us that cars are spying, right? All right.
Smart cars.
Tell us how all these smart cars are spying on us, Dan. I didn't get a chance to read your article yet, but I'll include it in the news. I'll read it by then.
From what I have gathered to read, ever since GM came out with the OnStar system and those vehicles, the vehicles have been collecting data on people. And then recently Ford and a bunch of other automakers are now collecting data too. And it's constantly being sent back to the auto manufacturer. There's like 2 vehicles they listed that no longer had this feature. And one of them was a Toyota model and another one was a Volkswagen. But other than this, these cars are collecting everything you do with them, steering, how much acceleration, how much braking. They're collecting all this information that you're using this car for, where it's parked, when the engine's running, when it's not, how long do you let it idle. It's collecting all that stuff, and it's sending it back to the manufacturers.
Now, how is it sending it back? Is it just connecting? How is it connecting to random wireless
What I
networks
got
to send
out
back?
of the article is it's sending it cellular.
So
these cars aren't equipped with a cellular modem in them.
These cars have a cellular modem in there. All right. Well, can we find the documentation for removing the cellular modem? What happens when you remove that?
Yeah, my car's 5 years old, and I was told when I bought it that it's got a SIM card in it. And so I was asking, why has it got a SIM card in it? Because it phones home because it'll tell me when my service is due, apparently.
Yeah, I don't need Big Brother to tell me that. I can, if I have to track the miles, I'll track the miles and I'll service it on time. Of course, my car has an oil change indicator that actually says in the owner's manual, do not change the oil until this oil indicator comes on. So, I don't want my car to be checking up on me. I don't. I am not going to enjoy buying another car. Maybe I'll go back to a 1980 something with a carburetor that I can work on everything myself again. I don't know.
Well, at the beginning of the article, it says we're at the turning point for driving surveillance. In the 2020 model year, most new cars sold in the United States will come with built-in internet connections, including 100% of Ford, GM, and BMWs, and all but one model from Toyota and Volkswagen.
What happens when you pull the cellular modems from these things?
Well, I would anticipate, I haven't read down towards the bottom on this. I would think that your car would no longer get updates. Now, I last year when I was working, I did have my van sent into the dealership to have it worked on, and they gave me a brand new Chevrolet pickup truck to use for the day. I went out the side, got in it in the morning, started it up to let it warm up, and I'm sitting in it, and right across the radio, your vehicle needs a software update. Please shut off the vehicle. Right across the radio.
Yeah.
I mean, my God.
Here's this funny thing. If you keep your car off the internet, it doesn't need updates.
And this was a 2019 truck.
Yeah. We can keep using Windows 7 all day long when it's not on the internet. It don't matter.
But what about security updates, Tom?
For what? It ain't on the internet.
What if? I mean, because there'll be so many things now in your cars that are controlled electronically. If someone gets in and somehow I don't know, hacks your fuel injection system, you could end up.
It's even worse, Vince, because now for the last few years or so, they've made the car so the steering wheel is not even connected to the wheels anymore. It's only electrically connected, and the gas pedal's only connected to the engine through wires, and that's it. So someone could put some hackware in your vehicle, and you could lose control of the steering on the road or all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's all real stuff. It's all real stuff.
I was joking about security updates, though.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing, though. But when your car is connected to the internet, you need security updates. When your car's off the internet, you don't need security updates.
That's the point I was trying to make. With all this non-connected to the mechanical parts thing, you need the security so people can't hack your steering.
Yeah, but if there's no external connectivity to the internet, you do not need that, even if it's all digitally controlled.
Well, another route they use is if you take your car somewhere to have it fixed or worked on or something like that, the diagnostic port underneath the dash, they can plug a transmitter thing right in that thing, and that gives them access to the car.
Yeah,
and it sends you on their way with that.
Yeah, that might defeat your thought, Tom, about not being connected to the internet, because someone could plug some sort of device in that then transmits.
I mean, you can check it. I mean, I have a Bluetooth port on mine because it'll tell me all my diagnostics from the phone if I want it to. So, there's possibilities, but I mean, it's easy. Get in there, reach in, and feel across the thing. I mean, that's just feel across the thing. You'll feel if something's on it.
A majority of the people don't even know the thing is there.
Yeah, that's true. And so I don't want the big company, though, to try and protect me from my own ignorance. I will go ahead and educate myself, and I will encourage other people to do the same. That's the thing. But once we start putting the car on the internet, now we have a major Fast and Furious is that 7 issue where someone can hack all the cars and kill us all,
Why do you think they want this 5G thing put in all these cities and everything? It's so all these new driverless cars can communicate to each other on the road.
Yep. And that's what they want to do. And so that's why they want to push this out, because it has nothing to do with helping the consumer. It has everything to do with helping the government and helping the companies who are the government backdoors. We have cloud stuff. Oh, self-driving cars. Not self-justifying 5G use cases. Yeah. Latency is the difference between stopping in centimeters and meters. Yeah, so is paying attention to the road.
We're getting steered into a bunch of stories that are basket weaved in back rooms.
Yep. That's why 5G is key to autonomous driving. I don't want autonomous driving. Oh boy, you still have to rely on onboard computation for everything safety critical, says the Waymo chief officer. An event that the Google offshoot headquarters made. Yeah, it's like what happens when the server is pinged or something. I don't know. Kind of problematic. Anyway, let's see. Smart factories. We talked about that a little bit. Any other comments on this story before we?
You mean so if you DDoS attack a server, then all the cars will just crash into each other? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. I mean, in reality, yes. That will indeed.
Single point of failure.
Yeah. And that's what we've done. Single points of failure. Let's go ahead and have a check-in on comments. Celebu has 100 megabit connection, fiber connection. That is $85 a month. And in Norway, where he is at, hidden prices are banned by law. Jesse Crypto's over there. How's it going there? Another question on Hex Chat. How long till it is illegal to disable onboard cellular modems in cars? It's being discussed in the EU. Ooh, I don't know. What do you guys think? How long before it becomes illegal to ban those?
I don't know. I don't give them people in Washington any more to think about on this.
Yeah, pretty much. Dick says 5G is terribly insecure in implementation. Okay. Okay. Causes
If there
surface
really
heating.
are aliens up there watching us, we're eventually going to make it so easy for them to just step right in and take over. It's pathetic.
That's what the whole consortium between the us reptilians and Bruce Scott
Yeah,
the Gray
how do you
is
know they
all
haven't
about.
already, Dan?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're already planning it. All we're waiting for is the 5G to be. But as soon as 5G hits 40% of market saturation on the Earth, we're coming in and taking over. We're just waiting for it. We've got Bruce Scott's probably up there at Moonbase Alpha. Him and a bunch of Greys. My alien reptilian team. We've got 4 motherships hovering above the Earth that you can't see up there. I mean, we're taking over. We're getting ready. Better watch out.
I
Or is it
seen the
just
one and the moon.
Mm-hmm.
Or is it just me, or are we slowly, very slowly being assimilated by the Borg?
I think we
That's
are
what it
being
feels
slowly
like.
assimilated by the Borg. That's it. Paula says 5G is a little like smoking and vaping industry, not to be trusted. What do you mean? uh, the only benefit to 5G is being able to torrent while I'm out and about. There you go. Although, do you really want to torrent to your device? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Verizon going bankrupt, implementing 5G. Let them go bankrupt. Hey, sure, why not? Hey, they're laying off 150 more employees over there at Yahoo. I'm going to be dropping my Verizon service here at the beginning of the year. So, although I did find a couple more places that the T-Mobile will not work kind of locally, but it's not enough that I'm super concerned about it. I think what I'm going to do is when I switch that over, I'm going to test out Ting and see how that works too. Because I have 4 of these things now. I may as well go ahead and test all these different prepaid phone accounts, right? Would you guys like a bunch of prepaid phone account reviews? Let me know.
T-Mobile does not work where I'm sitting.
Yeah. Yeah, we had a writers meeting out at Pine Grove Mills today, and T-Mobile does not work out there. Verizon worked okay. I mean, there were times it was connecting with LTE. There was times I wasn't getting data. Let's see. 5G plus the new Razor, early 2000s bar searching all over again. Uh-oh. All right. I have Boost Mobile prepaid. You can boost up a new phone for like $12 a month, no contract. Nice. I have no contract to internet or cellular connections. Yeah, I don't either. I'm locked in though to Comcast because we don't have anyone else that can get me remotely close to being able to stream. Derek owns a 20-year-old Toyota Camry. No modem, no internet, just external Bluetooth adapter that plays music and hands-free talk. There you go. Thing about OnStar is prank calling the dudes in the emergency line.
I'm telling you, I have that in my truck. I've never used it. I've never poked at it. I barely looked at it.
So Bill Erickson says traditional mobile calls are still going over 3G, so we can talk slowly as always. The problem is that Verizon allegedly is shutting down all 3G in December of 2020, according to multiple people I've talked with at Verizon. Okay. Fast, well, I want to upgrade from 300 duplex to 1 gig duplex. 1 gig. It's not fast enough. Looking for 10 gig cards right now. There you go. There's way around it. Cars have had the black box them for a while now. It just doesn't transmit data. Yeah, and I'm okay if it doesn't transmit data. I mean that's a trade-off for me. It's like I don't really want it there, but I'm not going to make a fuss out of that. All right. Let's see. Oh, Robot with Will Smith, autopilot at insane speeds. There you go. Yeah. 5G is really useless. Check out the problem with 5G MMW on YouTube channel, Linus Tech Tips. All right. There's a channel video you guys can look for. Washington
Yeah, I
State
think that was the video.
I've seen that. It's pretty impressive. He walks around and the signal barely will go through an umbrella.
That's right.
That's fun. So much for all those guys with their umbrellas nowadays. Do you guys see people walking around with umbrellas now on sunny days in addition to rainy days?
I mean, even canopies on the street side over the storefronts and stuff like that, it has trouble with them too.
Peabody says if you disconnect your car from the internet, you disappear. Hey, Ricky, how's it going there? Petrock welcomes our reptilian overlords. Well, thank you. I am one of them. Okay. We regret moving back from the Midwest. Yeah. Sound died, or is it 19.3 upgrade? I don't know. I'm still showing sound. I'm guessing everyone else is. I'm not seeing anybody else complaining about sound. So, except that's a brand new comment. Let me know if you can hear me. Thanks. All right, let's jump over to our second article. I did not send this one out to you guys. I just remembered about this and looked it up. So remember when BBC, this was back in June, the BBC was all excited. We have our first 5G broadcast. It instantly ran out of data. So the question was this all doing stuff that was expected, or was this an unexpected data collection? The phone's like, holy the motherload of bandwidth, let's go! And the phone just started dumping everything to servers. I don't know, what was it? But you can actually grab this article from TechSpot. Says here, staying within your monthly plan is going to be a challenge. Yeah, you know. In fact, that's one of the things as I was testing the Verizon versus the Mint phone, right? So I was testing these out with internet speed tests, and I was noticing that the Mint Mobile was just consuming so much more data. I'm like, what's going on? Well, it's because I'm running internet speed tests. When Verizon kept on being locked to 3G, the internet speed test is only pulling a small amount of data, but the T-Mobile line was pulling tons of data in the internet speed test. That's what the problem was. Like, oh, there you go. Makes sense, right? Makes sense. So yeah, so here is, I don't know if is there audio to this? I don't want audio. No audio, but let's see. So
what's important here, Charlie, is this is a historic
Does it say what the
We're
cap
actually
was?
I'll look for it in a minute here.
I think it's probably pretty pin sharp, and I also think there's very little delay because going over this new
Goes to
network
show you shouldn't torrent
about
while
15
out.
minutes ago, and the whole system went down. Turned out we'd run out of data on the SIM card inside our box of tricks, and that goes to show just how much data you might be
I haven't
chewing up
experienced
with one of these new
gigabit
5G
speed,
phones,
so
when and if they
I
get
have
to
no idea how fast it works.
So there's from BBC, right? So he comes in here and he's giving us, he's like, after just a few seconds, they completely ran out. They're like, things stopped working. Why? He ran out. Now let's see if I can find how much bandwidth it had. They delayed the broadcast by 15 minutes. Let's see. It's not telling me how much data it used. So yeah, so basically you can, though, clean out your bandwidth limit in just a few seconds, really, if you're not careful. So 5G will not be associated with unlimited and unthrottled data. It will be a big mess. Truer words have never been spoken. And look at that. Red Hat told us that. We know.
Well, you know, they
Hat.
can do it. Verizon does. Verizon with their cell phones, they do have data caps on them at certain points, but they don't tell you when you hit that, when you're using the internet on your phone to supplement, let's say, a computer, so I could watch one of your videos or something. They'll let you go right over that cap, and they'll sell you all the data you want. And then you'll get a massive bill in the mail for $300.
No, it depends on which plan you have, because what I've experienced with Verizon is if you do hit that cap, it throttles you down to like 1x speed.
I have not experienced that.
That's what I have, and it might depend on which plan you have. But yeah, I had that issue. Yeah, it's a long story. I don't want to get into right here, but anyway, yeah, I did have an issue like that.
I have the 6 gigabit plan with 1 monthly rollover.
Yeah, okay. I have like the 2 gig plan, and I wish I could go back down to 1 gig, but yeah,
They won't let me go back down to from the plan I'm not. They only let me go up.
Yeah, I'm dropping Verizon. I'm done with them.
But man, once you use up that whole 12 gigs, man, and it's like, we'll sell you all the data you want, you know, and they can do it because there's a tower right by me about, 300 yards out in the field, and there's not many people out there, so it's not being overused.
Yeah. That's the case. All right. Any other comments on running out of data? How quickly we're just all going to run out of data?
Well, they certainly ain't running out of places to store it, are they?
Yeah. Yeah. Vince, any final words before we jump over to the next article here?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Last one. This one here, I'm pretty sure this is a joke. In fact, if this was April 1st, I would just say it's a joke, man. It's a joke. To learn why 10G is the future of broadband technology. Wait, what? Huh? What do we have? 10G now? What's going on here? Well, it's not 10G.
7?
Yeah, it's not 10G. Yeah, we skipped 7, we skipped 9, we skipped 8, 10 was so good, we skipped 9 to go right for 10. All right. So anyway, this does not have anything to do specifically with like the next scale of that. This has to do with we want to have 10 gigabit per second in order to deliver speeds of 10 gigabit per second with enhanced reliability and security. It will require an array of new technologies. This is basically a plan for the American ISP companies to get 10 gigabit per second internet into everybody's house. Excuse me. Okay, I'm back.
They can't even give me a half a gigabit.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, okay, you guys want to have this ambitious plan of getting everybody 10G. Here's a tip. Why don't you get everybody symmetrical 25 up and down first? Shocking. That doesn't cost us $100 a month. Comcast, are you listening? The only reason I'm with your slimy company is because you have a monopoly. I would switch to Google and use their hardware before using Comcast. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I don't know. But holy crap. We need to have more options. And government, are you listening? We have no options. We have a monopoly that is illegal. But anyway, the ISPs want to get 10 gigabit per second in here, shortening the time. Why? Because of all the IoT devices. Isn't this awesome? The IoT devices, guys. Yay. Think about how many connected devices you own at the moment. Smartphones, gaming consoles, speakers, smart TVs, tablets, security cameras, IoT devices, among other projections, show that by 2020, the average number of connected devices in the average household will be close to 50. What are we, morons? Connect it all. I want smart light bulbs. I mean, really? Do we really need up to 50? Okay, let's do a fun count. How many smart devices do we have, people?
Well, to actually access the internet, I have this desktop that I'm using right now. I have a couple of laptops that hardly get used at all. I have a Roku for the TV, and I have a desktop hooked to the TV, and then I have my cell phone. That's it.
Okay. So are we including individual computers?
Yes, all of them.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
So
here's the thing. It's getting a bit out of hand, don't we think? Because, I mean, for a 4K video stream, right? What's the bandwidth requirement for that? Maybe 100 megabits, 50 megabits? How many
like
4K video streams do you actually need to saturate a 10 gigabit connection?
Yeah.
Because all these IoT devices, I mean, yes, you can have plenty of them, but they're usually just sending little bits of data, right? They're sending, bits of text and whatnot. So they don't require a lot of bandwidth, from what I understand. And I'm not talking about your laptops, and I'm not talking about your streaming boxes and your desktops. I'm talking about like I don't know, your Ring doorbells or your smart fridges. They don't need a lot of data, do they?
No, I wouldn't think so. Well, you can use this formula. I have a 1080p TV, and with 20 megabits of data, I can get Netflix to run just fine on it. 25 would be perfect with no buffering. So that's a good scale to go by.
Yep. I mean, here's a question to all the guys in chat who have a 1 gigabit connection. Like, how much of the day are you guys actually saturating that 1 gigabit connection? I mean, I'm not trying to throw shade on you guys, but I'd like to know how much of that you actually put to good use.
Like how much simultaneous data are you using? That's your question, right? Because I'm trying to think, how much simultaneous internet data do I use? Well, at any given point in time, I might be watching a YouTube video. And frankly, except for very rare cases, anything above 1080p, you don't see the difference. So you may as well use 1080p.
Storing and retrieving your games from Steam is something that you do need that kind of data for, because the games are the hugest thing I've found so far out there you can download. Some of them go in excess of 40 gigabytes or more.
And what's the average as you're playing that game? What's the average transfer? So like, is that just to download it one time, or is that to actually play it? What's the bandwidth used to play the game?
Download it one time and actually run it on your machine.
Okay.
So Stuff 1646 brought up smart toilets.
Oh Lord.
Depending on how well you are, that could use up a lot of data.
Yeah.
I had a case of.
It depends on the data dump.
Yeah. So I had a mild case of gastro this week. Sorry, too much information. But that would have pulled a ton of data.
Yeah, pretty much. So Jesse Crypto says, does it matter when I want to download a 4 terabyte database? Like, do it fast. The rest of the time, I just know I can download that database when I need to. Yeah. Plus patching it. So, okay. So even the most intense online game that you're playing with your friends, how much data is being sent back and forth? That's kind of a question, because I don't play a lot of games, right? Like I remember the first game I ever played online way back in the day, definitely before T1 lines, Warcraft 2, right? And I dialed up my friend's computer, and that's back in that day. You didn't dial into BattleNet. It didn't exist yet. You dialed directly into your friend's computer. So my computer called his house computer line. We got on and we played some Warcraft 2 together. And it was a little bit laggy at times. Warcraft 3 came out, and we had BattleNet now, and even then, in slower internet times, it really wasn't bad. It wasn't a lot of laggy because there's not a lot of data going back and forth. But how much data is going back and forth on these new games?
25 megabits is what I have, and I've been able so far to play Tux carts with somebody else on a remote server. I've been able to play StarCraft, Star Conflict on their server with a bunch of people. I mean, you don't need that much for it's not that intense.
Yeah. So I guess it's just kind of down to how quickly do you want to download it. It's like a friend of mine bought what's the latest Borderlands that came out? Was that 3? Whatever Borderlands just came out, right? And it's like he was like, yeah, I bring it home and had to download it for 4 hours. Now, if he were to take the PlayStation, go upstairs and plug it directly into the router, it would have downloaded it, a tenth of the speed for sure.
Well, think of it this way. How nowadays, with games being 30 and 40 gigabytes in size, how would you buy one from the store and transport it home? They'd have to sell you the hard drive to go with it.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, in the old days,
or a huge USB stick.
No, I mean, in the old days, they just give you multiple discs. I mean, my Adobe CS4 is spread over 4 discs. That was common back in the computer day to have a stack of discs. If you want to download the whole Debian repository, so you didn't have to get on the internet, it takes 12 gigabytes.
The problem is disc players are becoming obsolete. Not too many people have them. I mean, sure, you could get Blu-rays or 25 gigabytes.
But we're
talking get a game on 2 of them.
But if we're talking about a video game, though, your video game will have that medium. So, I mean, if we're talking about needing that much, you don't need the hard drive. Just sell them a USB drive with the data.
Yeah, that's probably how you're going to have to do it.
There's ways. That's the thing. But, yeah, so 50 or more devices, guys. We're all going to have 50 more devices. Not if you're listening to this channel.
Well, I think the bigger issue, too, is if you got a whole house that's streaming videos, like you got 2 kids, one in each bedroom streaming something from different channels, and then you're watching something on another channel. It starts to add up in that sense as well.
Well, I have a suggestion. Why don't you guys join together in one room as a family for a while?
But even at that point, Dan, a 1 gigabit connection should suffice.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But these are the only, use case scenarios where I can see you need a gigabyte or a half a gigabyte connection.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. So yeah, beyond the home, path to 10 gigabyte internet speeds begins with 1 gigabyte speeds currently available to more than 80% of Americans. Where are they getting their numbers from?
I seen that. I about fell out of my chair.
I was curious about that figure as well, because if that was the case, I'm moving there straight away.
Yeah, I don't know of anybody that can get one. Like, I mean, I don't think we have. I guess we might have gigabit speeds here, but it's not 80%. It's not 80%. Not even remotely close. I would say 10%, maybe 20%, maybe 30%. I don't know.
I don't even think they get that kind of speed in New York City if they want to go highly populated areas.
Oh, no, you can't. When will 10G roll out? The technology is currently being tested in the lab, and field trials begin in 2020. After the trials, we can expect to see 10 gigabit offered to consumers within 12 to 18 months. Well, good. Offer me 10 gigs so I can get my 20 down and 20 up for $30. That'll help. So Derek says Google Home, Mini and bedroom, Apple TV 4K to the TV, desktop to TV, all in one, 2-bedroom and a laptop. All right, there you go. Yeah, I have this computer. I have the Mac. Now, this and the Mac are never turned on at the same time. I have the main media PC. I have the Windows PC. I do have a Raspberry Pi, which is barely ever on. I have 2 phones, maybe 3 or 4 phones, depending on what's going on, but generally 2 are on. I have an iPad and an Android stock tablet for testing purposes. Those are on, but don't generally get used for anything.
It's about what Tom, you're like me. There's just you there and me here.
Yeah.
And we don't use all these devices all at the same time. I don't have 10 arms and 10 legs.
Yeah, I mean, and even the devices I have, so like my stock iPad, stock Android tablet, they're there to test websites and ebooks. That's what they're there for. I don't sit there and do anything on them. Like they're not even time-saving devices throughout the day. It's not like, hey, I'm going to get up and I'm going to check my email on the iPad before the day gets started. No, I got a phone to do that.
Oh, I forgot the Samsung tablet I have sitting on the table over here. I haven't turned it on in a year.
Yep.
I mean, I don't know. I already feel like I spend too much time online, so I need to actually use it less. And I mean, in our household, there's 4 of us, and there's usually only 2 computers at most on. I've got multiple machines, but there's only ever 2 that's actually being used, and there's a couple of our phones, but even those aren't used all the time, and so it's hard. For me, it's hard to figure out how much data I'd actually use.
Yeah, I probably use more than I used to. Like way back when I was at West and I actually wasn't really watching any YouTube, I just listened to music that I already had on my computer. I mean, I think I might have been using half a gigabyte because I'm not doing anything except just basic web searching, web browsing. Wasn't doing anything with video at all. I wasn't even a consumer of video, YouTube videos, streaming services of any form or another. No music streaming, no nothing. I literally just listened to stuff on the computer that I had a computer, which was cool. I moved out here, of course. If I were to actually measure it now, I wouldn't be surprised if I'd use a terabyte of data over a given month. But, I mean, I could actually cut that in half if I just go into YouTube and set it to automatically do 1080 or do 720p instead of 1080p. It wouldn't make a big difference to me. The fact of the matter is, though, is I'm in Pennsylvania, and this is going to be the last state that Comcast introduces data caps because Comcast is from here. So, they don't want to screw over their own employees. So that's the case. But yeah, that's what their plan is. Hey, by the end of 2021, man, we should all get over 80% of us should get 10G internet, probably because it's going to cost us about $500 a month, and nobody's going to care because we're all. So yeah.
So how much of this do you think is being pushed by all your streaming media companies?
Like how much is what the articles
How
or
much?
the technology?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
I'd say
Well,
these articles are definitely sponsored by something. Oh, this is a sponsored post brought to you by collaboration with the 10G platform. That's what the bottom of this article says. See what the 10G platform is. Let me switch back to the view so you guys can see the 10G platform. Here's the 10G platform. I just noticed this link. 10 gigabyte, the next generation of connectivity. Oh, look at this scrolly website. Oh, my Lord. Would you guys stop doing websites like this because they're laggy as all get out? 10 gigabit speeds are coming. See, it's supposed to be doing something fancy. What is 10G? The next great leap for broadband. 10G is the broadband technology platform of the future that will deliver residential internet speeds of 10 gigabit per second, 10 times faster than today's networks, with the power and capacity. 10 times faster? That's like a billion times faster than today's networks. Come on. In today's networks with the power and capacity to change the way we live, learn, work, and play. The 10G platform will enable creators and innovators to fulfill their dreams while providing the reliability and security that consumers can. What security? The faster
make
the
it
internet goes,
laggy
the
on
less security we
purpose
got.
to show you need the 10G.
I was thinking
right.
the same thing.
That's right. That's
Wouldn't it
right.
be funny if the website just didn't load unless you're on a 10 gigabit connection?
If you were on a 10 gigabit connection, this thing would be amazing. Every technology becomes more critical to our lives. This is a problem. Okay, we should not be going forward into this. We should be backing up a little bit. When is this happening? The future is near. The future is near. We have to see the latest news. Let's open that new tab. I'm going to keep scrolling down this monstrosity. One ambitious milestone at a time.
I mean, one thing that gets up my goat is that when did being connected all the time become critical to our lives?
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I think it's bad. I thought we were a lot better of a society when we were not 24/7 connected.
Yeah, I mean, how much of mental health these days, depression these days, is linked to online activity and use of devices, and how much of our physical health problems, diabetes, obesity, is linked to being tied to either in front of a television or a computer.
Yeah.
I think we're kind of being slowly forced into this situation. It's not like we're voluntarily and consciousness of wanting to do it. I think they're showing us enough candy so we float towards it.
Yeah, and that was kind of my point, going back to my question about how much of this is being pushed by the technology companies, by media streaming companies.
Yeah. So the entire consortium, it would appear, is put together by Comcast, Charter, Cox, Mediacom, Midco, and others, plus international operators including Rogers, Shaw, Vodafone, Taiwan Broadband Communication, Telecom Argentina, and Liberty Global, and more. Of course, they're not telling us what this is potentially going to cost us. It's going to cost you your firstborn child. Are you guys willing to give up your firstborn child for 10G? Unfortunately, a lot of people would probably say yes to that question. Of course. Let's see. So Solbu says over on HexChat, I love how Terminator 3 ended. They stated that Skynet was not a single system. It was all the interconnected systems around the globe. The IoT devices would be even more susceptible for infecting by Skybot in such a movie. Ooh. Docs, actually, they were talking about Docs 4.0 for that. Humans are meant to always be moving around. We aren't meant to be sitting down at all times.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
We used to be busybodies.
Yeah, we used to be, but not anymore. We got fat and obese. More taco. Yeah. Anyway, any final thoughts while I bring the kitty up for a kitty?
Well, Vince was talking about the fact that that we're using more and more of the internet and stuff like that for streaming services. There's a big thing kind of going on where more and more people are just cutting the cable from their TV. And it's partially because some of the premium programs they put on regular TV, they've now moved over to streaming services. And the only way you get to see these really good and probably your favorite TV shows is on a streaming service. The Orville's one of them. They took Orville off the Fox network, so you won't see it on TV
Oh, I
this
love
year.
that show.
You got to get Hulu to see it. They claim that they can spend more money on it if they don't post it on air.
That's a fantastic show, Dan.
I know, I love it too. I'm an addicted watcher.
What's it about? Never heard of it.
It's kind of like a Star Trek show, but it's a Seth MacFarlane production.
It's a satire.
Oh, we got a kitty.
The jokes in it are like really off the wall.
We got a kitty.
But yeah, Vince, we're being muscled from streaming services, just like Disney Plus. They're pulling all their stuff off TV. They're even pulling it out of the theaters. If you want to watch
out of the DVDs as well, it's going to become very hard to find. Like even Fox, they're pulling Fox out of Fox DVDs out of production.
Mm-hmm. I get the feeling that we're getting pushed into a spot where American people are no longer going to be able to own any entertainment whatsoever. If we want entertainment, we have to get it through the wires. Yeah, no physical media for nobody in the United States.
That's a problem. That's why I'm doing a massive collection of DVDs and stuff at this point in time.
I think I brought this up last week. I'm just still cooling off from it.
That's one well-fed kitty.
Yeah, he's maybe a little too well-fed. Right, Kitty? Are you too well-fed? Hey, can you
tell Kitty to get off his devices?
Yeah, guys. Cat's got to get off his devices.
Hey, Kitty, can you get your slobber off my table? He left a bunch of slobber on my table. Yeah, you can have that. Hold on, let me grab. I need to grab this though. Yeah, I'm getting your slobber off the table. You drooled on my table, cat. All right. Any other final thoughts?
Yeah, 5G. Can't wait to see it get here. I want to see what kind of mess it really is going to be.
Yeah, I think when it gets here, though, I might be moving out to the country.
I think it's going to be another ooh and ah.
Yeah. Yeah, so, of course, I will be streaming on my other channel. We are going to be talking about Pressed to Give, looking at the LDS Church was, forcing people to give 10%, which they still do. Force people to give 10%, even submitting W-2s to your church, even though the church was sitting on like $100 billion investment or something crazy like that. And then, of course, many churches now are telling you, you have to give 10%. Where we talk about what the Bible actually talks about giving. So you can join me over there. The link is there in the chat. And I will be talking about that at 9 o'clock Eastern, which is about 49 minutes from now. So you can jump on over there if you're interested in that topic. All right. Can get DVDs and box sets secondhand very cheap nowadays. Yes. Oh, 10. Is that how much is 0.1p? Is that like 10 cents ish?
10 cents? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, we can get DVDs here for like $2 at Goodwill.
You can actually get some really good deals on them too if you go to a major city that has a lot of used record media stores. Like I live probably about 30 miles from Ann Arbor. They have 4 record stores there that also carry CDs and DVDs, and you can get stuff like that there really cheap.
Yeah. Yeah, our ancestors used to chase food. Now we're chasing higher bandwidth. Just FYI, we have organs that don't have heart and rely on the body's high movement and vibration to clear the nasty stuff away. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
All right. First test of a dollar store wireless mouse works like a charm. It just won't last for long.
If you're into physical media, there's a website called Discogs. It's kind of like a used store for buying records, DVDs, CDs. I don't want to say it's discogs.com. That's where I get my vinyl records when I don't feel like going crate hunting.
Yeah, there you go.
That reminds me as well. The other day I found out that the HDMI connector for my Blu-ray player died, and so I have to go find a new one. And it's actually not that easy to get a new Blu-ray player. Not many people are making them these days. Like
no, Sony quit.
Samsung already quit. I think you can still get Sony where I am, and it's actually hard to get it.
I only saw 1 or 2 Blu-ray players in Best Buy.
Yeah, exactly.
Was looking to get one for a family member or something, so we were looking at them. There were not a lot. The good news is, though, is you can still probably get them. I mean, you can probably order, hundreds of them on Amazon. So,
Sony used to make a really good one, and then they started making them really cheap. And then this year they announced they were going to quit making them completely.
Like, it's making me think I've got to have to convert all my discs to digital soon. Otherwise, I won't be able to play them.
Yeah, that's what you might end up having to do. We're gonna. Is that what I was not able to find? Is it Discogs? Is it with a C? Discogs, yep. Discogs. Is it DISCOGS?
I believe so. If you see a bunch of records and stuff like that, you got the right place.
Yeah. Interesting. Hey, I should.
You never heard of that?
No, I mean, I don't exactly get on and do a lot of this type of searching. So, do you do movies over here as well?
It's a possibility. I'm not going to say for sure, but I have seen CDs as well as cassettes. I've even seen a few 8-tracks.
I'm pretty much just seeing CDs over here.
You might have to put the fields in the.
Hold on. There's a format. There's a DVD format, but even clicking DVD format, all it's giving me is a bunch of CDs plus DVD Vs.
They may not be curating them very well then.
Yeah.
Actually, all that stuff comes from individual collectors and sellers. It's not from the website itself.
Yeah.
But the stuff is also graded like coins, so it comes in like in almost new condition, good, very good, poor. Sometimes they grade the covers separately from the media. That's really important if you're buying vinyl.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's see if there's any final thoughts here in the comments, and then we will wrap this one up. Police CD go bad. I was happy that I ripped it before it did. Yep. Like to buy useful stuff. Yep. Optical media is dead. Nah, it's not dead. It's just
I wouldn't say so.
Wounded.
I still burn a disc now, and let's say, what's that? I forgot that. I have brain freeze. There's a Linux distro, a Clonezilla. Now and then I'll get a new Clonezilla, and instead of putting it on a thumb drive, I'll burn it onto a CD, and then I stick it in a book like you got.
Mm-hmm. For doing CDs or?
I got certain stuff that I know I'll use over again or need to, dig out that I don't want wiped off a thumb disk or something.
Oh, for the distros. Oh, yeah. Okay.
So like Clonezilla, I would have that on a CD and I just smoke it that way.
Personally, I still like the feeling of getting a CD out, putting it in the player, and then listening through an album.
Yeah, my truck still plays them. It's really weird. I can put a thumb drive in it with music on it. I can put a CD in it, or I can listen to the radio. And all you gotta do is push a button on the radio, move to USB, and then I'll start playing music on the USB.
But there's something there's a bit of a disconnect if you're just running everything off a home media server. I like physically handling media.
If you really get desperate, there's a hole in the radio where you can use a headphone jack to headphone jack connector and hook it to your phone. Or MP3
Only
player.
if your phone has a headphone jack. I mean, that's old technology.
Yeah. The radio does not have Bluetooth.
Depressing when online streaming is turning into that. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like when it's online streaming, you don't own anything. You're just dumping money in for a service that you don't get anything long term out of. I think that's the problem.
I don't think they want us to own anything anymore.
No.
It's also because a lot of the movies these days, the rewatchability of it is no good. Like, because they're remaking everything, and it's not really thought provoking. You're not going to go back and rewatch anything. You're just going to watch it once, and that's it.
Yeah, there's so many movies that I can't even stand the universe behind it anymore because they're just destroying it with remakes. It's like stop
remake
remaking
after
stuff.
remake after remake.
Like,
I think the only.
Why don't you go be creative and create something new?
I did see a movie this year that was a new creation, and it was kind of a true story too. It's called Ford versus Ferrari. That was an excellent movie, and it told a real true story of a real time.
That wasn't a remake of Duel?
I don't believe so.
Now, remember Duel, his old 70s movie? A guy passes a semi truck, and the semi truck's like possessed by the devil or something, and tries to kill him. It's the whole show is this semi truck trying to kill this guy because he passed him. Old famous 70s flick. Go check out Duel if you haven't already. You didn't get a kick out of it.
But Ford versus Ferrari just came out about a couple months ago. All the other ones I've seen have been duds.
Yeah. Yeah, I have no interest in going to the movies anymore. I think the only movie I was really interested in going and seeing is Joker. And that was a tremendously amazing film. But of course, it was completely not PC, and it was just so well done and completely opposite messaging from nearly everything else Hollywood was doing, which to me was just a breath of fresh air. Just funny, you go watch a movie about a deranged psychopath, and it's a breath of fresh air, but...
Well, spare a thought for me because I'm staring down the line of having to take my daughters to go and see Frozen 2 during Christmas. Yeah.
We will pray for you, Vince.
Yeah.
I have a confession to make, though. I have never seen Frozen 1.
I haven't either.
I initially thought I wasn't going to like it, but after the 6th or 7th time, it kind of grows on you.
Does it grow on you, or does it fester to the point where you're just like you become mind numb to it?
When it's being sung day in, day out. Oh, geez. And I'm guessing now there's a whole stack of new songs that they're going to learn.
Yeah, well, and I've heard that Frozen 2 is kind of like like an anti-patriarchal type film. So let us know how it is when it comes out.
Interesting.
Duel was a Spielberg TV movie. Okay, I didn't know it was a Spielberg movie, or that it was a TV movie. I mean, I've seen it on TV, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, Maximum Overdrive was a Stephen King movie.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm gonna have to go check that out. I gotta see if I can find a copy of 1984, the movie somewhere, the old one. Oh, so good. All right, well, I think we're gonna go ahead and wrap this one up here. So give us your final words before I click the off button, and we will join you on my other channel there in about 40 minutes. We'll be talking about Pressed to Give. So join us over there.
Well, I'd rather have 5G in my pocket than 5G in my phone.
Ooh, amen to that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
I think we're going to end on that one. So thanks for that final word, Vince.